Today on the Rockabilly Arts, we're going to talk about my absolute love-hate relationship with Harbor Freight, plasma cutting, and you. So stay tuned. Let's go ahead and start, well, probably at the beginning. Like, how did we arrive at a point where we need to talk about my love-hate relationship with Harbor Freight? You probably saw in one of the last videos about using the plasma cutter, and a plasma cutter requires very dry air to operate. And, well, I'm in Georgia, as mentioned a few times, and, well, one thing we don't have is dry air, which means, you know, plasma cutter doesn't work. Essentially, a plasma cutter works like this, right? So, air compressor's over there, takes all the humidity and air in the world, compresses it, shoots it down the line, comes in through the plasma cutter. Plasma cutter has an electrode in it, and it swirls the air through there. I forgot what the electrode is made of, but it's probably not important. And it shoots an arc across it, then you get this 25,000 plus degree shot. You know, it's just this molten, evil, lava type kind of heat shooting through in a tip that is 0.055 in width, which is why you can blast through metal in a hurry. However, when you add humidity into the mix, what happens is you get this crap air comes through, it basically shorts out the tip and the thing doesn't run. So a couple of episodes ago, I talked about the fact that I ruined a ton of metal, and what was happening is it would go to cut, and it would get to a certain point, and then the torch would just quit cutting. So what I ended up doing is, well, the first thing I did was I put this little air filter on here. I'm not sure if you can see it or not, but yeah, a little inline filter. So, all right, cool. We used it a bunch of times when using the spray guns. It's great. Right? But then I was thinking about it. It's like, well, every time I go to paint something, I end up with water on it. And then you hook up the little blow nozzle and you get a fan of mist coming out of it. Not cool. So then we bought a desiccant filter, like an inline desiccant filter. And it worked for a couple of hours. And, you know, I've seen people on the forums talk about the fact that their desiccant filters, you know, they could get months of use out of these things. Then you dry them out and you can use them again. I was like, oh, this is great. This is perfect. Made it 4 hours before we had completely soaked the desiccant, and then there was just water dripping out of the bottom of it. Not cool. To drain the tank, refill the air compressor, put fresh desiccant in it, and it still doesn't work. Great. So we did what any reasonable person would do, is like, we need to upgrade. So we thought about doing one of those cool little up and down copper pipe things where, you know, you add a little drain cock at the bottom of one of them, collect all the water. But I don't want, you know, 50 feet of copper line running up the walls, and then that's just not cool. The other alternative is a air-conditioned compressor air dryer. So started doing some research, and they're freaking expensive, man. Like, it almost the same price as the table, kind of expensive to get what we needed. You know, the table only needs like 4 CFM. The air compressor puts out, you know, 17 CFM. So we didn't need anything huge. So went and looked at Harbor Freight, and they had one. It was like $440 shipped. You know, the reviews were pretty good. I was like, okay, we'll try it. Yeah, that thing sucks. It made it through one session, one day, using the plasma cutter. Quick little aside here. My rule when it comes to Harbor Freight is very simple. If the failure of it can cause your death or severe bodily harm, don't buy it there, right? So, again, air compressor, air dryer doesn't really fall in that category. However, the motorcycle lift sitting over here has functioned flawlessly since we got it. I mean, I don't use that much, but it's there and it works. The motors that are on the, you know, the pressure washer and my go-kart, all little $80 Harbor Freight jobs, little Predator 6.5 motors. I've got breaker bars that I've had for 20 years that came from Harbor Freight. I also have a collection of broken and bent screwdrivers that also came from Harbor Freight, so don't buy tools there generally. You know, tie rod separators, perfectly fine. Ball joint separators, you know, anything like a bearing puller, don't get it, because if it fails and it pops off in your face, you're kind of doomed. So I thought I was okay with this air dryer. The Harbor Freight air dryer, right? So air comes in here, right? Pipes down this way, goes around the little radiator here. It's got a, you know, cooling coils and all that, and comes back out here refrigerated with a little drain on this side to let all the humidity out that it captured during the refrigeration process. This is also why, you know, running your air conditioner in the house over the winter will basically just pull the humidity out of the air for you. Well, so, hey, like I said, it worked one time. It worked exactly one time. And then the next time I go to use it, I turn it on and I hear this hissing noise, you know, so I go start checking all the connections because, you know, this is a 1/2 inch fitting, but we're running 3/8 fitting, so I had to use a bunch of, you know, neck downs and whatnot to make it work, Teflon tape on everything to make sure that I didn't have any leaks. And so I disconnected the compressor, disconnected the air lines, and it was still leaking. I was beside myself. I was like, there's no air pressure in this thing whatsoever. Why is it leaking? So I start pulling the foam off, and right back here, where the refrigerant line goes into the cooling coil, it blew a hole. Like, it just leaked all of the Freon out of it over the course of about a minute. Big block of ice. Far more ice than you should expect on a piece of equipment in the middle of, you know, September. Yeah, just blew a hole in it. So yeah, this is going back. They the nice part about Harbor Freight though is they know their stuff is crap. So 90-day return policy, generally no questions asked. You know, I did have to tear the foam so I could find out where it's leaking from, but yeah, one time, once. After that one gave up the ghost, I figured I had a few options, right? So, like I said, I was gonna, you know, definitely return it. However, they'd have to give me the credit for it and I'd just have to re-buy it. So that thing was $440 shipped, and decided, you know, let me go check out eBay. I went through all the industrial sites, you know, the equipment traders and even Facebook Marketplace, which came up exactly nothing. And ended up on eBay. There was a bunch of air dryers on eBay, and so I just kind of kept looking for something that would suit my needs of adequate build quality. Found one that was a few years old for like $490 and in Greer, South Carolina. I was like, okay, you know what, 490 bucks, I can run up there and pick it up. Take me about 3 hours to get there and back. Not a big deal. And you know, I made a counter offer of like $475. Well, actually $450, and he countered $475. And then said, I have a 2-year-old Champion unit that I'll sell you for $475, and I will be in your area next weekend. Perfect. So, so I bought this thing, 475 bucks. They met me about 20 minutes from the house, and this bad boy right here was about 1,800 bucks new. It's 2 years old, and it came out of a Walmart while they were upgrading. So it was used by Walmart. It wasn't like something Walmart sold. So yeah, this one should solve the problem. If this doesn't work, I might just sell the plasma table and go out on a motorcycle ride or something like that, because like just I'm dying to cut stuff, and like I can't run my paint guns. I can't do anything up here without air. So my new Champion air dryer, 35 CFM capacity, will run up to 230 PSI. The air compressor only puts out 175 on the best day of its life. Yeah, super excited about this. I know this isn't a particularly great video, but that's why I love and hate Harbor Freight. Because, you know, you kind of roll the dice sometimes you win, sometimes you don't, but so far it has cost me about a month of downtime because I didn't consider the fact that most everything that they sell is total junk. So, until we meet again, you know, drive fast, take chances, and safety third. Good night.